welcome to another edition of the program Inside Cross River. On this program, we'll let you in on everything happening in Cross River State, in the private sector, in government. Even those things that happen while you're sleeping, is our responsibility to let you in on all policies of government and everything playing out in Cross River State. Today, we are looking at a very critical issue. Today, we are going to be talking about what is in the minds of the people. All right, so we hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about taxation in Cross River State, and of course, a lot of people are saying that the whole process is such that people are getting so worried about the lifespan of their businesses in Cross River, and some businesses are closing down. Is that totally government, or maybe there are some fraudulent characters or elements on the street that are also, adding to the problems of the people of Cross River? I have here with me the chairman of Cross River State Internal Revenue Service. He is Prince Edwin Okon. Yeah, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Beatrice.
All right, so this is our brand new digital chairman. All right, so let's talk briefly about IRS in general, in your dispensation, and of course what you are bringing to the table as the new chairman.
Okay. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Thank you, the team, for this opportunity to talk about the Internal Revenue Service. I resumed on the 19th of June 2023, and I must say that so far so good. If you look at the numbers in terms, because in a revenue job, it's more or less like a sales job where you need to balance what the people want and at the same time work towards increasing the internal generated revenue of the state. In May 2023, ending of May last regime, the revenue was 1.9 billion, and the target really for all of us is to see how to close some of those leakages and improve on the numbers. So I must say that when I resumed, what I did was to do internal reshuffling, looking at the talents in the system. And I recognize the fact that people have different roles to play. And after some conversation, I had to move some persons around to see how I can use the same people to achieve better results. And that was the focus for a start. And also look at various areas where we can actually do a deep dive to improve on the numbers. And I must say that from a 1.9 in May 2023, we moved the revenue to 2.4, to 2.6, to 2.7. Wow. And at the end of October 2023, we ended with 2.97 billion, showing an increase of about $1 billion from where we started. And our target is even to do much more, because we recognize the fact that once that revenue comes in, the people will have better services. There will be available resources to take up the roads. There will be available resources to take up the hospitals. There will be available resources to take up the less privileged and those that have not been able to take up themselves, which also takes us to the idea and the mantra of the governor, which is the people's first. And we're close to the December period. The sweetness is all over, and we believe that we are also contributing our own quota towards improvement of the lives and people of Cross River State.
Okay, so I would still want to ask you that same question. So what would you say you have done differently?
Honestly, like I've said in my introduction, it's any revenue job, being the chairman of the Internal Revenue Service, you must be ready to take all the bullets from left and right. Okay. But the key thing is the success, because if the numbers don't go up, the whole world will see it. Okay. And one thing that I've done differently, the numbers have shown the fact that we've been able to increase the revenue, internal generated revenue of the state from a 1.9 billion as at May to 2.97 billion at the end of October. And guess what? Personal target is that we'll do the right thing, we'll reduce the multiple taxation as much as possible, and move this revenue to about 5 billion at the end of the year to Q1 2023. And then, by the grace of God, the end of 2024, we should be hitting between 5 and 7 billion,
Wow.
as the case may be.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So if you're judging of the program is inside Cross River, now what kind of revenue officers belong to the states? Which of them are for the local government? Is everybody you see on the street, are they really driving the process from your office? Are you really, have you put in place modalities to ensure that you coordinate that process effectively?
Okay, the tax laws are very clear. What should go to federal government, what should go to the states, and the roles of the local government councils. But in all this, there must be a synergy. That synergy is what we're trying to do as a state. And remember that the federal government had earlier set up a committee to harmonize codification of all the tax laws in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just submitted that report. And the essence is to be able to harmonize all the tax laws in the states and make life easy for Nigerians. And I'm also aware that that subcommittee has submitted a report and that the implementation will be in phases. Some chairmen of Internal Revenue Service in some states were members of that committee.
Okay.
We've also been briefed. I'm a member of Joint Tax Board and at different committees what we need to do to support what they're doing. So now, in terms for the states, we also have a joint revenue committee where I'm also the chairman of that revenue committee, where the chairman of councils, and in this case the Olga in all the local government, are also members of that committee. I've written some letters to them asking them to indicate all the tax laws in taxes in each of the local government and the revenue agents that are using. And why am I doing this? Because I want to harmonize the tax system first in the states. Even at the federal level, we're talking to FIRS, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, so that from 2024, we'll see a way of having only one tax authority come to you at a point for an audit. So you won't need to have so many tax authorities come to you at different times. It can be really frustrating for a typical business person.
Okay.
And what I will also indicate, that's for us the synergy between the state, the federal, and the local government. And the one that's a major concern for us, really the ones at the local government level, where you have so many of those tax agents. But the harmonization, like I've said, that we've started, is going to help a whole lot in reducing the number of these agents on the road. And aside that, the security agencies are also working with us to see how we can have, you don't need to have so many checkpoints on the road for different purposes.
Okay.
And that's to the extent in which the steps we've taken to harmonize this tax system within the states.
All right, so on the streets, how do we identify the legitimate tax agents and how do we know the fake ones?
In the true sense of it, it's a difficult thing, really, everywhere, every tax system, all the states. But what are we doing? Like I mentioned to you, we've written to all the local government to furnish us with that information on the tax consultant they've appointed, their contact details. So the security agencies too, we are working with them to be able to also stop some of these things on the road. And what else are we doing? Once we have that details from the local government, which we already started, I've asked my team that I don't want to see too many tax consultants on the road.
Okay.
Because their job should not necessarily be to be on the road. The taxes is only, Nigerians will be good abiding citizens, and I believe that if we have the right channels, we don't need to have so many people on the road collecting taxes. And I've given them a target that from Obandiku to Bassey, I don't want to see a maximum of 10 to 15 because I understand I've not gone up to that level. I've gone around a little, but I've not reached the end. I sent a team to do an audit for me that we have so many of them on those roads, and this is very discouraging. Recently I had a meeting, we had a meeting with the Adamawa state government to come up with a model where when you load your product from Adamawa, you can make your payment from Adamawa right from the time you get to Bassey. Nobody disturbs you on the road. And that's the same thing the Joint Tax Board is doing, harmonizing the tax system to the extent that you don't have so many people disturb you on the roads for tax collections. It's very frustrating. The governor himself is not happy about this. The number of very fake agents on the road. We identify them gradually, and I've asked people, please, if you get these fake tickets on the road. Recently, in fact, in Boki, we got so many of those fake tickets in Boki, and I sat down with some of the stakeholders, and I've written a letter to the Timber Association on what should be paid to the government.
Okay.
And that I also did, taking into consideration what is being paid for the local government, so that the timber dealers in Boki are only paying once, aside, let's say they've been collecting over 320,000.
Wow.
And I've reduced it to be in line with what the tax laws say they should collect. I've reduced about 90,
wow,
from 323 to about 90,000. And I'm going to do that. I just had a meeting today with one of the commissioners, so that we need to harmonize these things across the other local government, so that we will be able to reduce the stress and cross variants and passing through.
That's interesting. So we have this general notion on the streets that businesses are overtaxed, and some of them are shutting down in Cross River State. Have you done your visibility study on that?
Yes, there's a document that we're also reviewing in line with World Bank standard. In that document, what it's saying is that we have a specific tax rate. If you are doing an SME, for example, a small and medium enterprises, you have an amount depending on the turnover that you have. It's called presumptive tax. So that presumptive tax regime is likely to kick off in January. We're sending it to the governor for his approval. The World Bank representatives have also gone through it. One of the things we'll discuss at the meeting with all the revenue heads in the local government at the end of the month is that same document. So if you have a small business, we will agree an amount where you will pay in a month, and that amount covers all your taxes, so that you can move with your product from here to Bandiko. Nobody disturbs you on the road. You just present that document, and with that you are fine. And one other thing I've done, I've identified 20 major companies in the state, and I've told all the tax consultants, please don't visit any of those companies. The essence is, for example, Niger Mill, for argument purpose. You see that all the consultants 15, 16 will go to them to pay different. It can be very distracting. So what do? We've told them, please don't visit these major companies.
Okay.
Wilma is having that kind of experience. Only one consultant deals with the big companies in the state. So aside the presumptive tax system, I've told the SMEs who started the jingles, come to us and we agree with you on what you will pay on a monthly basis. With that, you don't have so many people disturb you on the road for any kind of taxes. I'm a proponent of stoppage of multiple taxation. The good thing is that I'm a specialist, I'm a finance specialist, and to a very large extent, I feel the pains of people. And what I tell my staff and everybody is that, what if this business belongs to you? Take IRS responsibility as your own business. Because if you stress these businessmen and women so much in the state, the tendency is that they will move to other states and not even have opportunity to collect what we are collecting. And the good thing is that gradually we're going to get there, because the government just started. The governor has given his mandate. Chairman, I want to reduce the stress for cross variants. I want to reduce the multiple taxation in the state. Whatever you have to do, please put it in place, so that we can have a proper system for the states.
Okay, so thank you very much. Of course, as if you are just joining us, the program remains Inside Cross River, and we have been interacting with the chairman of Cross River State Internal Revenue Service. And of course, we are talking about taxation, which is very critical. The business people are interested, low-income earners are interested. And one thing, I am also interested because we are in a season of sweetness, and the mantra in this dispensation is people's first. I'll be back in a jiffy. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back. So, Chairman, I want us to go straight to the specific aspect because I'm very interested in it. In the previous administration, they said government is a continuum. In the previous administration, we have this tax exemption for low-income earners and low-income earners. Now, being that this is the people's first administration, would there be any consideration for low-income earners?
Okay, thanks a lot, Beatrice. Like I said earlier, the presumptive tax regime, if you go through that document well, you'll see that it's something that will make life easy for cross-variants.
Okay.
And so many states are also adopting the same approach.
Okay.
There's a general notion, and in fact, the chairman of the National Tax Implementation Committee said it recently, that the main people that should be paying this tax, that the government has to focus on them. And for me and for my team, what we're doing is to make sure that cross-variants are taxed based on the volume of business they do. And I've said it time without number, you cannot have 5 houses in Calabar and you're not collecting rents from your tenants, and you're not paying rental income to the government. That is fraud.
Sure.
That is fraud. And I've said there are different forums. If you say you're a Christian, even the Bible supports payment of tax. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Please come and give to us. We are the government of the people. If we don't have the tax, there's no way we can help the people.
Sure.
I repeat again, you can't have 10 houses in Calabar, 5 houses in Calabar, and you're not paying. You come here, you want us to reduce your tax for you. And the national body is saying the same thing, and that's where all of us are going to. You need to contribute your quota towards the development of the state. And the state cannot develop without making payment of the relevant taxes to the revenue authorities. And let me also add here that please, as a service, as a person, I'm also open to ideas, what we need to do differently to improve on the system, what we need to do differently to reduce the leakages on the system. And for me, so far, I think we're on the right trajectory. It will just be to correct one or two things that we may not have been doing correctly to make sure it takes us to where we really want to be.
All right, so I know that you're a chartered banker, you're a chartered accountant, and of course you're a financial consultant as well. So based on that, I want to know specifically what you're bringing to the table as the chairman of IRS. So few years from now, what do we look back and say this man made a difference?
So the difference already started showing. For one, to increase the revenue of the state from 1.9 to 2.97 in a twinkle of an eye. I think it's something that all of us are happy about. Even my staff, everybody is happy. In terms of staff welfare, I also believe that the revenue authority should be properly taken care of, which the governor himself is also looking at in one area or the other. So we need to improve on the system, make tax payment convenient for everybody. We've just developed a platform. If you go to the link, we have the governor had signed up a company who is really assisting us to develop the tax system in the state, the payment solution in the state.
Okay.
Now you can sit in the comfort of your home, generate your TIN, and pay your tax at your own convenience. And in the next 2 or 3 days, we are going to start sending bulk messages to various homeowners that are not paying the rent, their rental income. My plea is that please assist us to make it easy for everybody. And one other key thing I always say, and I will repeat again, is that for the small business owners, as much as possible, please, I'm ready, I'm willing. I've started having so many discussions. I've met with the road transport workers. I'm meeting with the market women. I'm meeting with the different associations and groups. I have a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. These are the umbrellas where businessmen and women belong to. And whatever complaint, I have also met with the private medical practitioners and so many other groups. And I must say that those meetings have been very fruitful. They've come up with their own complaint, and we are listening to them on a case-by-case basis. Whatever complaint is available, we'll handle them. Any business that is suffering from one kind of taxation or system, we're available to come up with different solutions to make life easy for consumers.
All right, that's interesting. All right, so lastly, how would you, as an office, as a team, as an organization, interpret your own season of sweetness? How would the taxpayers in Cross River State say that they are experiencing the season of sweetness? So your welfare should should not just be for your staff; it should translate to others, right? So how are you going to achieve that as a chairman?
Convenience. I've talked about convenience in tax payment. You can be UK, you can be in UK, you can be in US, you can be in Canada, and you have a platform where you make your payment easy.
Okay.
I've talked about the presumptive tax regime where small businesses are not taxed so high.
Okay.
And in that tax regime, you will see that for small businesses, you see someone pay like 10,000 naira in a whole year, or 40 or 30,000 naira. So that has been divided into different, and this has never happened.
Okay.
And with that, people will be happy. You should be happy paying tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in every tax system, you realize that some people have to be forced to make those payments.
Mm-hmm.
But gradually, this is season of sweetness. We'll make as much as possible. We'll make life easy. They will make it convenient for everybody that wants to pay tax. And I also talked about some of these reductions that we're doing. But for some of the anti-tax law policies, we're reviewing them.
Okay.
For example, we are reviewing the carbon emission law,
Okay.
which I've asked our legal team to also look at it. Any of those ones that I've seen that I know that cross-variants are, so I'm scrapping them so that life will be easy for everybody.
All right, this is not sweetness. For the benefit of all Nigerians out there, all perseverers out there, and everyone out there that, of course, has one thing or the other to do with Cross River State, because if you are coming here as an expatriate or whatever, if you are doing business, of course, you have to go to this office and all of that. So, who is Prince Edwin Okon specifically? How do you describe yourself?
Okay, thanks a lot. Prince Edwin Okon, I was born, I'm from Okon local government.
Okay.
And all through my career, I finished from Obode. You know, Obadians were very proud of the school. Before I was the president of Obode all students. I attended University of Port Harcourt. By the grace of God, I was the best graduating student in the University of Port Harcourt. And I've had experience in the banking industry, in the IT firm, the pension industry. I was a compliance officer in one of the pension custodians. So I've also been able to package different facilities for major companies in the world. And I'm also happy to support local and multinational companies. And honestly, I must say that I've created a landmark in the industry. The Dangote refinery, I was one of the teams that packaged the facilities for Dangote refinery.
Okay.
The Bua sugar, the Bua cement, the Bua Sokoto. I have very good relationship because I was also one of the teams. I was part of the project management team for these big companies. These are very big companies. I've also packaged things for a gold company in Ghana. I've been trained, I've done trainings by PwC. I've also done training for IMF, International Monetary Fund. And these are experiences I've garnered over the years. And I'm happy that the governor, in his wisdom, has given me this opportunity. And let me also say that I attempted to contest for the House of Reps before this time. And the intention was really to see how I can provide service for the people. I'm married to a medical doctor and I have 3 children. And I'm also happy that she has an NGO where she uses to assist women and children, especially those that have cancer. Aside this job, I'm open to talking to different companies to see how they can come to Cross River. So, and that's the idea about life. So that you won't just put your heads on the Internal Revenue Service, but you must also bring up different ideas that will assist the government, reduce the load, and also even see that the cross-riverians have something doing, in the course of life. And lastly, let me add that I'm ready to work with the government in different capacities, and also willing to assist in different ways. That the key thing is cross-riverians will have a better life. And I've mentioned to him a few times too that most of these companies that are coming to the state, we can grant tax waivers to them, and which he has keyed in. And those tax waivers will assist them in coming into the state, enjoy those tax waivers for a certain period, just to make sure that they don't pay any tax for a certain period, that will assist us. And I'm happy the governors have so much trust and confidence in my ability to deal with what I have in my hand. And that's why during the budget session, he commended my team, myself and the team, for increasing the revenue by 21% as at that time.
Right.
We continue to put in our best to give Cross River Areas a better alliance support the government, where we will continue to have total sweetness for all of us.
I like that, total sweetness. The sweetness has to be comprehensive. So from this introduction, or this introductory remark, you could see that we have a total professional at the helm of affairs. All right, so let's hear your own thoughts, because I've been asking the opinion of critical stakeholders in this dispensation, how they feel about the carnival. All right, few days from today, we are going straight into the carnival. What is your thoughts? I know the governor is excited about it, and everybody is ecstatic. We cannot wait. So, what do you feel about the Carnival Calabar, the 2023 edition?
Honestly, the number of persons, friends, associates that are already planning to come into town for this carnival, I hope the hotels we have in town will be enough to accommodate everybody. The sweetness. The good thing is people have trust in the government. Okay. People have trust in the governor. And we had the former chairman of FIRS, Babatunde Fowler, come to train us. He was the man that changed the revenue history of Lagos State. Okay. He came here to train our staff. And when he came, one of the things he said was, he can see that people are patient, people are willing to wait to see what the governor has in stock. And I'm happy that we're on the right trajectory. So for this carnival, a lot of friends, a lot of people are showing so much interest. And even within the team, we're saying, please, let's not stress people so much during this period. Yes, we will do our normal enforcement, but as much as possible, let Cross River do the right thing, so that we won't need to stress you to pay too much tax during this period. But I can tell you that the aroma, the environment, everywhere is changing. Even my children are saying, Daddy, I'm not going to miss Calabar this season. So I'm happy that this is happening in our own lifetime, and I'm sure that we're not going to. Even the people passing me, someone sent me a message today, a friend of mine that said, they said security situation in Calabar. I've told him, please come. Calabar is not going to be the same. And remember, come and live and be at rest. Calabar is a place to rest this season. Please come on and let's enjoy the season of sweetness together in Calabar this season.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for the access. Thank you for the time. We've had a thought-provoking analysis, a wonderful conversation. I know it will be very beneficial to all perseverance in this season. Of course, I am looking forward to see the magic you're bringing to the table, and of course, we'll be coming back here to get your thoughts on so many other aspects and we keep progressing the administration. My name remains Beatrice Akala, and the program is Inside Cross River. Like we say, the people matter. This is the people's government. When the people complain, the governor reacts. We've seen it happen, and it's still going to happen in every subsector. And for you as a Cross Riverian, payment of tax is your civic responsibility. All right, so pay tax so that we can have that sweetness that everyone is anticipating and everybody is enjoying presently. The sweetness has to be collective. So for it to spread to every subsector, you have to do the right thing by paying your tax. Please do the right thing as a Cross Riverian. Wherever you go, be a good ambassador of Cross River State and put your best foot forward. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.